Hi, I'm a Japanese urban sage. Nice to meet you.
Why do responsible people always end up exhausted? Have you ever felt this way? You're working hard, doing your part, maybe even more than your part. And yet, somehow, it always feels like you are the one carrying the weight. You look around and wonder, why is it always me? Why does no one else step up? If I don't do it, everything falls apart. If that sounds familiar, let's pause for a moment. Because the truth is, this isn't happening because there's something wrong with you. It's not a personal failure. It's a pattern. A hidden law playing out behind the scenes. And once we understand that, we can stop blaming ourselves and start reclaiming our peace. Hi, I'm the Japanese urban sage. Let's talk about something important today. The psychology of the irresponsible boss. We've all had that manager or coworker who avoids responsibility. It's frustrating, right? But here's the thing, there's a reason they act that way. As humans, we're wired with certain instincts. We avoid blame. We avoid confrontation. We avoid discomfort. Why? Because our primal brain is designed to protect us from pain, shame, and social rejection. So while it doesn't excuse their behavior, it helps to understand. This isn't about you. It's about a deeper, structural dynamic. You are not the problem. The system is. The worker ant rule, also known as the 80-20 principle. In biology, there's a fascinating rule observed in many species, including ants. It goes like this. 20% of individuals do most of the work. 60% do an average amount. 20% do almost nothing. And here's the twist. If you remove the top 20%, the next most responsible 20% step up, and the same 20/60/20 pattern reemerges. This happens because every group, whether it's ants or humans, tends to maintain a kind of natural balance. And yes, it applies in offices too. No matter how hard we try, 100% of people in a workplace will never work equally. So what ends up happening? The most responsible 20% get overloaded. Burned out. Silently carrying the team. Sound familiar? And here's the good news. If you step back, someone else will step up. It's not your job to hold the world together. Nature doesn't collapse when one ant stops working. Neither will your workplace. Why overworking isn't heroic, it's systemic. You might think, if I leave, the office won't function. But here's what usually happens. Someone who's been coasting steps up. Not because they suddenly became noble, but because the structure demands it. That's why letting go isn't selfish, it's essential. It's what allows others to grow into their share of the work. So when you protect your own energy, you're not just helping yourself. You're helping the whole system recalibrate. Because in any group, only about 20% will take the lead unless things shift. So if you always say, I'll do it, others will subconsciously lean back. But when you set boundaries, they lean in. 3 gentle shifts to protect your peace. 1. Choose a lighter structure, not just a new job. Sometimes, protecting your energy isn't about quitting. It's about choosing a system that won't overload you in the first place. For example, you might move into a role with clearer boundaries. Fewer hours. Less scope. And sure, the paycheck might be smaller, but the weight on your shoulders? So much lighter. Remember, you are not your income. You are not your title. Ask yourself, what kind of life do I want to experience from here forward? Not just what you can endure, but what you deserve to live. 2. You can do it all, but you don't have to. You're capable. Maybe even high capacity. You can get things done. But that doesn't mean you should do it all. Saying no isn't quitting. It's drawing a line that protects your well-being. And again, when you step back, someone else steps up. Not because you forced them, but because nature fills the vacuum. Boundaries aren't selfish. They're how ecosystems stay balanced. 3. Take back the steering wheel. You've spent years trying to meet everyone else's expectations. It's time to raise your own flag and say, "This is how I choose to live." Because even in the most humble role, if you chose it with intention, your soul stands strong. So yes, keep being kind. But let that kindness extend inward too. Your gentleness matters. To others and to you. A gentle truth you deserve to hear. You've carried a lot. Quietly. Consistently. And I want you to know, we see that. You've worked hard. Not just for yourself, but for others. And that's beautiful. But now, it's time to redirect that energy toward your life. Use your responsibility not to carry the world, but to choose the world you want to live in. You deserve peace. And if no one's ever told you this before, you're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to want to be happy. And we, those of us watching, are rooting for you. You've already done enough. And if this message made your heart feel a little lighter today, then maybe that's the first step toward a life where you don't have to carry it all. Toward a world where letting go is also an act of love. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourself. Really. And remember, you have the right to choose a life where responsibility doesn't mean self-erasure. That's not weakness. It's wisdom.